So Thor Ragnarok wasn't the greatest MCU film ever, but it was still a fun time, and I was worried going into this film that it was going to be too cheesy and they're just taking Thor in the complete wrong direction that I thought they should have taken him. But this film was so much fun, and it's probably one of the funniest movies I've seen this year, and definitely, in my opinion, the funniest MCU film out of all of Marvel's filmography. And I like that about this film. I go to the movies to have fun, and Marvel movies have definitely been fun for me, and this was a movie that took you in a direction that I didn't think that it could succeed at this buddy like comedy movie with a sci-fi fantasy element to it, and I enjoyed the crap out of it. And of course, with Thor being the lead character, it's going to have a lot of action to it, and it's kind of hard to have something brand new and fresh in the action with all these Marvel films because they've done so many like awesome things in this universe that it's kind of hard to come up with something fresh with the action. But regardless of that, this movie gives you a lot of fun action, and it's nothing too like fancy, nothing too like mind-blowing, but it's a lot of impressive shots and a lot of fun. You're gonna hear me say fun in this review a lot because that's what this movie boils down to. It's just a whole lot of fun. You hear a lot of people say that this is a buddy film between Thor and Hulk, and it pretty much is, and they absolutely bring it in this film because I love the comedic chemistry and just the overall like their bond throughout this movie. It makes for some really humorous moments and really some good character developing moments in the movie. And I like how simple-minded the Hulk is in this movie. He's not so much the whole smash everything, I want to just punch things all over the place. You do get that Hulk, but you get this other side of Hulk that I don't think we've ever seen on screen before, and that he's very like he has very simple like needs and desires. Of course, with all these standalone Marvel films, you get introduced to new characters that get brought into the fold as the heroes go through these adventures. And the one character that got introduced into this movie that completely stole the movie for me, at least, was Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie. She was so completely badass in this film, and she did an awesome job with this character, and she just added so many layers to her that I want to see more of her in this film. And every time she was on screen, she stole it for me. Jeff Goldblum also stands up to me in this film. I was kind of worried from all the trailers that we were seeing of how outrageous and eccentric he was in the trailers, and I was kind of worried about his character and how it wasn't gonna fit in this movie. But again, this movie just surprised me coming out of it. He was one of the better parts of this film. He had some of the best lines in the entire movie, some of the best comedic lines. And time and time again in this film, I was just laughing out loud. And a lot of it had to do with what Jeff Goldblum says in the film. And of course, you can't have a good superhero movie without a good villain. And Cate Blanchett as Hela, the goddess of death, did a really good job for what she was given. I mean, she had, again, a really good performance. My problem with her character is she doesn't have a whole lot to do in this movie. I mean, she shows up at the beginning and it's like, oh, here comes, the goddess of death to Asgard. And then she's just there most of the time. And I was kind of disappointed. I wanted to get a little bit more depth out of her character, and it's kind of that kind of stumbling quality of the Marvel films that they've had with their villains in the past. There's not a lot of depth with them. I mean, the last like standout villain to me, at least in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was the Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming, because you understood his motives and there's a whole lot of depth to his character. You didn't get that with Cate Blanchett's character in this film, and that was kind of a letdown, which leads me to the gripes I have about this movie. The movie moves so unbelievably quick at times, and there's a lot of key moments that happen in the first 20 minutes of this film, and they just sort of gloss over them. It's all right, we got to get on to the next thing. And I really wish they would just sort of step back in those moments and just let that scene breathe and let you sort of like have the gravity of that situation just wave over you, and you would feel so much more for the characters of the film had they would just slow down a bit in those scenes. And I also, it's kind of a catch-22 as well, because if you slow down in those scenes, it takes away from so many other great parts about this movie. And the other problem that I had with this film, it felt like two separate like tones going on in the film. They blended them pretty well, but the way they were edited together, it felt like two completely different movies, because you had these two storylines going on, with this one storyline with Jeff Goldblum and Thor trying to get back to Asgard that was more sci-fi in itself. Then you had this other story with Hela and everything that's going on in Asgard that felt a little bit more fantasy, and the two tones sort of conflicted at times, and the way that they blended together at the conclusion of the film worked for me. But at times, the way that they would edit the sequences, I wanted to see more of Asgard and what was happening with them, because that to me felt like the bigger story and the more important story. I wanted to be there more times to see what's going on there and have Thor and Hulk and everybody get there quicker and spend more time at Asgard. Regardless how much fun I had with it, I really wanted a little bit more depth to the story and see Thor go through a bit more, and well, not go through a bit more. He goes through a lot in this film, but just focus in and hone on that and sort of spend more time and give the film a little bit more time to breathe and reflect on those big moments that happen in this movie, because those big moments are there in this movie. They're just not given the attention that I think they should have given it. So again, the one word that I would definitely use to describe this movie is fun. There's no way you're not going to go into this movie and not have fun. There's plenty of great action sequences. The comedy and the dynamic between Thor and Hulk absolutely make this film for me. And so I'm giving Thor Ragnarok 3.5 out of 5 stars. So now it's your turn. If you saw Thor Ragnarok, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to like and share it, and to stay up to date on all the videos going up on this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button that's right there. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.